Today, well, we're going to try to do some testing around vinyl and sublimation and try and play around some white vinyl. And then I got some special sublimation vinyl, but it is translucent. So, and I just want to compare this to the Transar Dream, like the heat transfer paper, which is, I think, the easy way to do this. Although I've now been told there's also some kind of printable vinyl, which I don't know how that works. But, yeah, so we're going to try some stuff and see what it looks like on some test t-shirts. And if that works well, we'll pick the one that works the best to make another t-shirt for somebody who is retiring or has just retired. I'm not entirely sure. It's a friend of my mom's. So yeah, we're going to get to use the sizer again. We're going to get to use the printers. We're going to do some dye sublimation. So we'll be using our little dye sublimation printer here that we have helpfully labeled. Basically says don't use it if you don't know what it is. And our heat press, which mostly works okay. It's automatic, kind of cool, got it off of Amazon. Alright, here we are using our heat press, waiting to get this auto heat press up to 320, and we're going to set it to 15 seconds, and we're going to do that just to get the moisture out of the shirt and smooth the shirt out. Then we're going to try this test with some white vinyl, just tacking it on there in the shape of what we were going to then try and sublimate onto, and see if this is actually better than like Transar Dream. Alright, well, we're trying to get to 320, but sometimes this thing kind of flakes out and won't get up to the temperature for some reason. I don't really know why it does that. Oh, here we go, 320, awesome. Yes, okay, so you can sort of see it. So this one's kind of cool. Once you've got it all set up, you just hit this button on the side. And it gives you the time you put on there, 15 seconds. Four, three, two, one, and then it opens. Now we can see now, maybe, try adding some extra light here. You can see that it's now smoothed out the shirt real nice, and so it's going to be ready for the vinyl, but first, I'm going to have to weed the vinyl. Here's our test. Just put the white vinyl down. Peel it off. Just tacked it down and it actually stayed. So now we're going to finally get an opportunity, I guess, to test aligning a sublimation thing and see if it'll sublimate right onto the white vinyl, or if we have to actually do 3 layers for this shirt. So we will see what we will see. But we also should get to use our high temperature tape. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to use some of this tape. I don't know, I just picked a size. Hopefully we'll hold the thing in place as we align it. Okay, and while I'm going to be playing with this tape here and trying to tape this thing down to hold it in place, because this is going to take a while, I'm also going to increase the temperature here to 400, which is for sublimation, and that's going to take a while to get there, so might as well have it doing that while I'm trying to tape. And 400. And then, because I'm already in here, sublimation time, usually in my experience, has been about 40 seconds. So, cool. Or hot. Alright, I think that's probably good. It'll hold it down enough until I push it down with the Teflon paper to hold it the rest of the way. And then we will do the sublimation. But, like I said, it takes a while to get the temperature. So we're only at 371. We need to get that up to 400. So, I have to wait a little bit. But while we're waiting, so I put the Teflon paper on there. That's basically how we use it. And it is working on coming up temperature. We're at 380. I don't know, I'm just thinking while I'm here that this better either this way or the second way we're going to test, if this doesn't work, better come out like frickin' amazing, like super much better than there's the Transar Dreams, because like I would have had like, I don't know, 10 t-shirts done by now if I was using Transar Dream versus all this futzing about. So I still have not had anybody give me a good answer as to why you want to sublimate onto vinyl onto a t-shirt instead of just using the heat transfer. And the only guess I have is that it's going to last longer, except I don't know that vinyl necessarily is going to stay on the t-shirt through more washes. Like, I guess, you know, it kind of depends on the designs and stuff.
Oh, so this is good. I can sit here between the sticky station and the non-sticky station, so I can do the sticky part over here and the non-sticky part over here.
And this is why we have extra chairs, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, so the good news is we're up to temperature. We are ready to try this sublimation. It's going to be 40 seconds. But what does AV like to say, safety third? Well, because we're going to sublimate, I guess we will go over here and activate our very loud ventilation system. But I'm only going to take it up like 3/4 of the way because I don't think this is actually that bad with one sublimation. And here we go. 40 seconds. Let's see what happens. And the moment of truth, I guess. We'll have to sit here for just a couple seconds. I'm going to take that off, the Teflon paper, and then I'm just going to have to take it off with all the tape. That's going to be a good time. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. We're going to remove the sublimation paper. Hopefully, maybe. Oh god, maybe not. Okay, this did not work the way I wanted it to. It is not coming off.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well this must be why they use the other vinyl on top of it. It's designed for you to sublimate onto. Because, yeah, the color is not great just onto the white, and it's going to be fun to take off. Well, this is about the best that I got, and that is not really what I was going for. Yeah. But that's why we do these tests. So, do one more, the full proper way, as they say, and I guess see if that actually makes any difference. I still have my doubts, but... So, yeah, we're just going to reset, go back over to the sizer, and we're going to do another cut. Now, there are two kinds of vinyl. The white, to go on first. Then we're going to do this supposedly HTV sublimation vinyl. And then we'll do another print and cut on the sublimation paper. Lining it all up 3 times with, I guess, 3 different amounts of sticking. And then we'll see where we get. But I don't know if this could possibly be good enough to be worth this over Transar Dream. Okay, now we're going to change out our white vinyl for this other vinyl. This is the Sizer Romeo, so it's a bigger one. Not that we ended up actually really using it yet for 24-inch cuts or anything, but we have it if we need it, and I actually think it's easier to feed through, you know, longer things of vinyl. Like this one is 30 feet long, which may have gone overboard. Probably shouldn't have bought that much, because after this test, we may never want to use it again. I was going to say, you got to put it in front of the lens. In the meantime, this is done. Yeah, so then you always got to figure out which side do you cut of this vinyl, but I think all the HTV is always on the inside, and the permanent vinyl is on the outside, and this feels like that to me. And so you put the little lever down in the back, and then you can just feed this through. One thing we did find out that's really interesting is with the random vinyls, it is a lot easier to set this up kind of strangely where the grippers, even though they're 8 to 12 inches wide vinyl. The grippers are in the middle because that's where the underneath grippers are. It's weird. I don't know why Sizer designed it that way. You know, they have this line that makes you think you should index it to that. No, that just doesn't really work. So you just kind of eyeball it in the middle, and the nice thing is you don't actually have to be that exact. You just kind of use the buttons, the touch screen here to test it. Line that up, and then you always do, or I like to always do, an area test. And yep, that's going to fit. That's all good. So unfortunately, being as this is a new material, I don't actually know how to cut it. So we're going to have to do some force tests. So I think I'm going to start with the settings we used for the white vinyl and just see. Okay. And now we can just take a little look. It is interesting also that it does two completely different patterns when you do a force test, depending on if you do it right from the machine or you send it from the laptop. But they tell you basically what you need to know. And that looks good to me, and it is going to work. So we're going to use those settings, and I'm just going to do another area test to make sure I've got everything lined up correctly. Yep, and then the other nice thing about Sizer is you just got a little button or checkbox here for an auto weed box, which is really, really useful and highly recommended. All right, here we go. Send to cutter. And there it does the weed box for you and returns to start point. So then what we do is we'll just feed this out using the controls on it far enough that we get it kind of flat. And we have this little cutter thing, which if I was going to do this a lot, I probably would replace, but yeah, we're not really doing this that much, at least not yet. So just kind of line that up, and nice cut right across. And now we got two of these things to weed and try and line up. We're going to get our mat, and it turns out for sublimation paper, don't use high strength. Like this was high grip. We've used it a lot, high tack or whatever. It's not anymore, which is important because we used a new high tack one and almost ruined the mat. It just doesn't, work. Okay, so we're going to send this to our Epson Sublimation printer. And we're just going to check that it's set to premium presentation paper matte and high quality, which it is. It's already reversed, so I don't have to reverse it in the software for the printer. And we'll just go ahead and hit print. And over here, we just have our sublimation printer that I showed you before and talked about. And yeah, this is just an Epson Eco Tank. And we just filled it with sublimation ink instead of regular ink. And this has been working great, and I gotta say, I wish I had had these Eco Tanks back when I used to actually do inkjet printers normally and not just for these specialized crafts, because so much better than the cartridges. Just so much better than any other inkjet I've ever used. It doesn't get clogged sitting. It doesn't dry out the cartridges. The cartridges aren't $1 million. Like, you just can get some cheap ink off of Amazon, like 70 to 100 milliliters at a time, and just... And we've done... well, more printing than I've done with an inkjet in quite a while on this, and we haven't even used half of just the black ink. Forget about the other colors. And I think we got these for sale for $200 each or something at Staples. Maybe it was $250. Very inexpensive. It's an older model slightly, but they all work fine. Awesome. So then I'm going to take this and I'll show you when I put it in to actually do the print and cut, and hopefully, like, the Sizer will do the right thing this time and not what it did the very first time, which was cut the pattern not aligned to the printing at all. Okay, and so here I'm setting up the print and cut for the sizer, and unfortunately my tripod's not going to really let me get this to be super visible, but I'm just putting the paper onto the now low-tack mat just to hold it. And then the important bit that I still don't ever get right, I mean very rarely, is this little arrow down here. So when you feed it into the machine, you try and stick the whole thing so it's more or less straight. And of course that's not straight, I'm just making the actual paper straight, not the mat, because I'm lazy. And then I never really know exactly what thing I'm supposed to put over what. I think we try and stick the thing right in front of that arrow. It always confused me because it seemed like you wanted to put it on like the corner of the line, but I'm pretty sure that's not actually right. So then over here, we have to go to the cutting contours, and we need to set the force down to 10. Don't want a weed box on this one. And we're just going to send it over, and hopefully the cutter will actually look for those index marks to then cut in the right place. Let's see what happens. Good, it is kind of looking. It's so close, I don't know. It's gonna complain because it's like, I don't know, it's like right there. So when this happens and it's this far, it's best to just cancel out and kind of start again a little lower down and see if that works. Yeah, we'll try again. And now it found the index marks, so it's just checking all 4 of them. And now it's going to start cutting the contour. Alright, and it's done. So now we're going to pull that contour out. Because it's actually low tack, now it just comes right off. And now we're just going to pull the rest of this off here. Boop. And there we go. And so now we're going to get another shirt and try the 3-step process. Okay, so now Megan's going to help me out and do a little weeding, get the 2 bits weeded out. While she's doing that, I'm going to start turning up and heating up the heat press again. And to do this, I have to change the setting again down to 320 to do all the tacking.
It's not coming out as nice as the last
one. It's the same material and everything.
Yeah, just sometimes it just rips. But this is a pretty simple cutout, so it's not so bad. So there's that one, right?
Yep.
Aren't my cutting skills exciting?
They're the most exciting thing we've seen today.
Don't you wish you had tiny fake Cricut scissors from Temu too?
You too can get them, and this is not an ad.
You too can have these fancy scissors. Alright, then this one is, goes from this side. This is neat.
Yeah, this is...
What is this? This is the...
This is the sublimation vinyl.
Can you just put sublimation vinyl on, like it would have to be on a white t-shirt. Or you wouldn't even need it at all.
No, you would use it on a white t-shirt that wasn't polyester. You'd use it on a cotton one.
Okay.
But I don't really know if this is going to work either. There's a good chance I'm just going to say the hell with all of this. We're going back to Trans Our Dream. It's a lot... It actually does work out to be cheaper and easier, even if each sheet is like $1 or something. By the time you cut out 2 or 3 different things of vinyl and line it up and use a bunch of heat tape.
It's certainly a longer process, but...
I just want to see if it looks awesome. If it doesn't, then it's a process that exists because other people on YouTube like to make things more complicated than it needs to be. Well, she's just doing the same thing here as she did the last one. So I'm going to go over here and we can see we're waiting for this to heat up. This needs to get to 320 and I don't know if you can even read it on camera. Okay, so we're back looking at the shirt, this another black shirt, and I just realized I still have to change the time to 15 to actually press the shirt. But we are at temperature. We're going to press it. I should be pressing it with the Teflon sheet, but I always seem to forget. Next thing we need is this little thing here. We just kind of use it to, again, gonna put the white on, try and get ourselves lined up. So yeah, put the white back on there. We're gonna tack it this time. So we are gonna do the short 5-second thing. I'm remembering the Teflon sheet this time, which is good. Put it like that. Change the settings back down to 5 seconds. And boom. Give this 5 seconds. Okay. So we do that. Give it a second or two. We're gonna peel this off. Boom. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're gonna try and align the special sublimation vinyl on top of this, which is a do the best I can lining that up. Alright, pretty good, I think. Good enough for government work anyway. Give this 5 seconds again to just tack it in place, hopefully. And we'll get this and the special little scissors, because we still have to futz around. Well, first, let's see now if the 2 vinyls are going to stay on there when I peel this off. Well, so far so good. Alright, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, because now we have to set up the sublimation again. Alright. And this is going to need the heat tape. And while I'm setting this up, again, I take this back up to 400. Yeah. Wish it was a dial or something easier to change the temperature on this thing. It's kind of slow and annoying. And then this has got to go up to 40 seconds. Alright, so when that gets up to temperature, I'm going to start taping. So yeah, even lining this up as well as I could, and it was not perfect. But here goes nothing. Teflon. So we are up to temperature. I'm going to turn the exhaust fan on. Moment of truth, I guess. See if all this is just a complete waste of time. "40 seconds. And there we go. Now we're going to give this just a little bit of time to cool off. But we're going to turn this off again. Now our plan, our hope, is with this new special vinyl in the middle, the paper actually peels off and isn't glued to the white vinyl. But it looks, I don't know, somehow more amazing than Transar Dream. I'm tempted to do a third shirt just with Transar Dream, just for like comparison. But to save on wasting shirts and things, we're going to probably just move on to whichever one actually looks better, which I'm still betting this won't look enough better than Transar Dream. Oh, still hot. Okay, it's coming off easy here. Color looks better. And I say easier. There we go. It did transfer much better, but the lining up is not 2000% perfect. I don't know if it's possible to get it perfectly tight, but that's a much better result than the first one. I just don't think it looks like it's like amazingly going to be better or different than Transar Dream. And Transar Dream, it wouldn't have the alignment issues. So what do you think, Megan? Better than the first try, anyway, with just white. So it is a sublimation vinyl, but
yeah, I mean, you can see like the lines of the shirt coming through too, which is weird, and it doesn't line up quite like you would hope. I guess, I mean, feels very smooth. Probably have to wash it and see how it holds up, like if it's actually stickier, and then maybe figure out some better way to tape it down. I'm not really sure what that would be, but
yeah, basically the other people on YouTube just say make the underneath white color and the other one bigger,
bigger,
and then you just have a border around it because there's no way to get it exact.
Ooh.
Which, you know, again, does not seem like a great sales pitch for this method. So we do know sublimation vinyl does work. I kind of feel like, again, it'd be one of those things where maybe that would work better even than my attempts on wood with the laminate paper or something. But I think for designs, I mean, just the Transar Dream is so much faster, so much easier, so much less materials, and I think looks better at the end of the day. I'm not even sure that this is particularly less, you know, material up above the shirt.